Hello everyone, it's Frances with String Into a Thing. Welcome to the Kids Beanie tutorial. This makes a wonderful beginner's project and it can fit a kid from 4 all the way to 10 years old, and it works up so quickly with this nice thick yarn. You can really use any type of yarn thickness that you'd like, and you can include the pom-pom or leave it out. With our starting chain working up from here up to here, that will determine the height of our hat. So you can make a chain depending on how long or short you want it. You could leave out this flap by making your starting chain a little bit shorter and test it on your head. And as we build up our rows from here this way, that will determine the circumference of the hat. This pattern will actually work for any size. It just depends on how many rows this way you want to go. And if it's for you, as you crochet, you can test it on your head and make sure it's not too loose or too tight. Even test it on a son or daughter and make a beanie for anyone. Are you ready to make this super cute beanie? Oh my goodness, let's do it. I'm going to be using my Sweet Love by Baby B. I just got this at Hobby Lobby. And I also have this awesome one for the pom-pom. This is from Dollar Tree. Okay. Also a coordinating hook for your beanie yarn, a tapestry needle, and some scissors. So this is a bulky number 5 weight yarn. And then this one's just your basic medium 4 weight. So let's first make the little hat. I'm going to set that yarn off to the side and take my package off. I'm going to find the beginning of the yarn. I'm just going to chain until my length reaches 11¼ inches. So this is regular medium weight yarn. You could also use this, and I would chain 40 if you had that regular yarn. But since I'm using bulky number 5, I'm just going to chain until I get to 11¼ Or you can just chain 33. So I'm going to first begin with the slip knot. I have the working yarn tail facing me, and then I'm just going to wrap the working yarn around my hand like this and over the top, and it's going to create like a little X. I'm going to grab my hook, go underneath the first one and over the top of the one we just wrapped over and pull it through. Then I'll just hold both tails and tighten, let go of the tail and pull. Now we're here. To make a chain, we're just going to need to yarn over and pull through. And there's 1. So yarn over and 2 until you get to 33. 4, 5, 32, and 33. Perfect. Now we've got 33 chains. Now we're just going to begin a simple single crochet. If you've been here with me before and you want to learn all the fundamentals at a slow pace, you can go ahead and check out my videos in my beginner series playlist. So let's begin by inserting in the second chain from the hook so this loop doesn't count. This is 1 and 2. You'll notice that opening is right here. So we're going to go right inside there. Just inserting and pulling up a loop. Now I have 2 loops on my hook. Then I'm going to yarn over again and pull through both. And that's a single crochet. I know it's kind of funny, this yarn has a lot of twists in it, but here is the second opening. Just that chain right there. Another single crochet. We're going to go all the way down the line. And you'll notice this opening right here is the one we just worked in, so it's got to be the next one. So again, insert, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. All the way down the line. Coming up to my last chain right here, I'm just going to insert again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And when you get that last chain, let's just chain 1, yarn over, pull through, and we're going to turn our work. Now from here we're actually going to be working in the back loops of the very top stitches that you see right here. You might have to squeeze your work and turn it towards you. I know it looks a little bit crazy right here, but I promise these are little V's. And here, which sort of looks like a chain on the top. Now we're actually going to be working in to the back loop of this first stitch right here. So when we want to work into the back loops, we'll have to kind of twist our work towards us. And you can see these little V's. You might have to look a little extra close just because my yarn is a twisted version. So right here at the very first stitch right here, typically you would go right underneath both loops, which looks like this. Here's a loop there and a loop there. But for this move, we're going to do just the back loop, which looks like this. So the bottom loop is right down there. And do that again. Here's both loops. And here's the back loop. From there, I'm gonna yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And now we've just began our next row. And we're gonna repeat this pattern over and over. So you see my two little guys right there? I'm gonna go in the back loop only. Back loop, single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, and repeat for this one. Back loop, yarn over, two loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through two. Perfect. And then we're going to continue that same thing all the way down. Might have to turn your work towards you so you can see. Coming up on my last few stitches here. I love how the yarn is totally variegated, so it's changing color as I go. And that is the last guy right there. You'll see two loops right here. We're just going to go in this back one. And there you have it. We just created our second row. Now I'm going to chain one again and turn my work. And now I'm going to begin the same thing as before. Beginning right here again, in this area, we're going to be going into the back loop. Might have to twist it a little bit more than usual. Here we go. You can see two loops right there. I'm just going to go in to the back one. And I'm going to begin my third row. And we will just continue the same exact pattern until we have the length that we want. This back loop single crochet repeat will create that beautiful ribbed style, and it's just gonna look so cute. Oh my goodness. Approaching the end of my row, back loop, yarn over, pull through one, yarn over, pull through two, and again we're going to repeat this. Chain one and turn our work. As you continue to build on your rows, you'll start to really see the ribbed effect here, and it's just so adorable. I just love this yarn. Here I am on my last couple stitches, and I have quite a long tail for the end. I'm going to chain one, and this is perfect. I'm going to keep this on here actually, and I'm just going to pull it all the way through. We're going to stitch our piece up. And then I'm going to tighten. And now your piece can measure anywhere from 13 to 14 inches, and that should be wonderful. So depending on what size yarn you're using, I just kind of stretched mine out a little bit, and that's the measurement for me. Whatever yarn it is, you can just achieve anywhere between those two measurements. Now I'm going to get the end of my really long tail, and we're going to whip stitch this together. Very super easy. I'm just going to get my darning needle, or my little tapestry needle and stick that in there. You could tie a little knot just in case you didn't want it to slip out. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my piece, and in this fashion where I got my little tails here and here, I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to flip it this way so I can work from the right side all the way down this way. And all I'm going to do is actually go into the stitches, and we're just going to go in any really way that we're comfortable. I know this is sort of busy yarn, but you'll see there's a little knot right here that I made. I'm going to stick under those two little pieces right here, under that one, and then I'm going to go to my next half and stick it right in there. Now each piece may look different, but you could just get it in there any way you feel comfortable. So I'm going to string it through, and I'm just going to go away from myself. And that's our first whip stitch. And then I'm going to keep going from the top to the back, top to the back. And now I'm going to pick my next little section. So really we can even stay within those little stitches entirely. So right under those two little loops, and then look at the next one and go under those two little loops. And you would just do that all the way down. Now my tail is extremely long because I'm actually going to be closing up the hat at the very top with the same string. Okay, now once you got that one in there, I'm going to move to the next one. And you'll see where you went because this is where I just entered, so I'm going to go to the next one. Right underneath those two. I'm going to find the other two. And that's under two right there. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. And the more you do this, the better you get identifying where to go. So I'm going to just move this little tail out of the way and continue to whip stitch all the way down, matching my pieces up. And periodically you can kind of give your little piece a pull. Coming up on my last few pieces here, and if you notice one side is a little bit smaller than your other, the side that we finished on is going to be a little bit looser than our starting chain side, and that's totally okay. If you have to feed your piece in wherever you need to, just do it. It's all going to turn out just fine. So now I'm right here on my last stitch, and I also have one more little opening. I'm going to kind of go to the side of this piece, kind of right in here, snuggled in wherever I feel comfortable, so we don't have a loopy look. I'm going to kind of try to get that bump, that little scallop when the 2 points join. I'm just going to try to test it out and see what it looks like, and I might want to go back in just on the very side. And take a look at it, and that looks so cute. So I'm going to kind of go around a couple times in the same spot, and then one more, but this time I'm going to put my tapestry needle through the loop and pull it through. That creates like a little knot. Now we're actually going to join the hat at the top. So far we have this funny looking thing here, but if you roll this up, you can start to see what the beanie will start to look like. And then we will join the top like this. How cute is that? Oh my goodness. We're actually going to start working inside here now. With the same tapestry needle, I'm actually going to be working in these little openings. And you'll notice we'll have to make our own hole here first, but then I'm just going to go in and out all the way around this entire piece. So starting where my yarn is most close to me, I'm just going to pick one of these spots and stick it right in there. And then I'm going to go from the inside out right here. You'll see those little openings in your hat. And now the next one, I'm going to go down in towards the hat, and then up outside of the hat. And again, I'm just going to repeat this until I go all the way around, up and down. Once you get back to where you started, I'm just going to insert that into the last hole, and then from here I'm just going to pull gently. It's going to bring the hat together. And from here I'm just going to go in wherever I think it should go, kind of just under anything, and then go through the big old loop and pull through and make like a little knot. Pull that hat together. Now to bring it together a little bit more, I'm just going to kind of go from this side over here, and I'm kind of just going to do some X stitching. So once I go to that side, I'm going to go back to the other side, and then I'm just going to kind of keep going on a different part of this and just kind of string it together from one side and the other. Kind of random, but wherever you think it can use another stitch or two to kind of unite it. And when you're ready, you can put your last little stitch in there and go through the loop. Snip, where I've got a little bit here to go. Create a little knot. And from here you can keep it right side in or inside out, but we can add our pom-pom soon, whichever side you like more. I'm just going to go ahead and flip it the other way, and it might look bumpy at first, but once you start to kind of squish it around and kind of smash it a little bit, it's just going to be so adorable. Oh my goodness. So we can fold it up. This is a perfect little hat. Totally ready. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. Let's go ahead and get our white yarn out so we can create a little pom-pom, and then we'll tuck our little yarn tails in. I'm just going to wrap this around my 4 fingers. You can extend your fingers for a larger little pom-pom, or a smaller one if you want to close your fingers like this. I think I'm going to be right about here. And I'm going to wrap this as many times as I think is good. The more you wrap, the denser it will be. I'm probably at about 100 wraps right about now. And then I'm going to snip off. I'm going to get a little bit of yarn here from the working yarn and actually try to shove it through all the way to the other side. Once I get it, I'm actually going to tie them all together, double knotting it very, very tight. Very important step. And once you have that, I'm actually going to come back with another piece of yarn and stick the loops over the top. If it's a little bit funny looking and there's pieces hanging out, that's okay. I'm going to go over the whole entire thing now. Tighten that super well. Very, very tight. And I'm going to double knot, triple knot. And now you can get your scissors or any kind of scissors you're comfortable with for this step and cut right inside here. right where the loops are. For both sides. Now you might have a couple pieces here and there that you can go back in and find and snip away, just to kind of break that loop. Then these two nice long tails, we're just going to keep them there. And from here, we can kind of shake our piece a little bit, fluff it up, and go around and shape it up the way we want. And there we go. Now from here, we could just make a little bit of room and bring our little hat back in. At this stage, you can decide which side you want the hat to be the front or the public side. For me, I kind of like the ribbed side on this one, and then the folded edge like this. You could play around with it, but once you've established your desired appearance, you can go ahead and now actually get your hook and stick it inside the hat on one side, here or here. And once you have it, those long tails that we decided to leave there, I'm just going to go ahead and hook it on and bring it through the hat. Now, if you're having trouble locating your little long tails, we're actually going to need the long tails here. So this is where our connection was, right inside here. This piece. You can just get another piece of string that's about 8 inches or so and loop it through there. Now we have 2 long tails. We're just going to tie that on, just in case you lost yours. Now I'm going to get my hook, and I'm actually going to stick my hook inside the hat on either side, from the center to the left or to the right, and bring in one of those long tails and just lace it through. There's one, and I'm going to find my other long tail and stick my hook on the other side and pull him through. Get my hat and turn it inside out, and now I see both of the strings. And from here, I'm going to tie them on. Just going to double knot it, triple knot it, quadruple knot it, however you feel most safe about this. And then you would just lace these both through your wonderful, excellent little tapestry needle, and then kind of feed them through your hat. Anywhere you feel comfortable, just to kind of hide them. Trying to stay on the inside layer of the hat. Just go in between these little pieces. One direction. Sometimes you might have to pull your tails a little bit, and then another direction. From there you can snip very carefully, not to snip your actual work that you did. And I want to stick it right back. And now it's time for me to feed this in as well. Stick your hook in and bring it on in the inside, just like we did with the little tails. So now once I go inside, got little tails in here now, and I can feed them through here. Using the same technique, one direction and the other. And then we could actually see what we've done. We could shape anything up if we need to. Also, I've got one last little tail right here. This one I'm just going to work inside the stitches right here, inside the thick parts, one way and another. And there you have it. Beautiful little beanie. Oh my goodness. I love it so much. Thank you everyone so much for joining me for this quick little tutorial. It really has been my absolute pleasure. See you in my next one. Bye!